Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you for coming to episode 7. I have some big news for you guys. I officially moved to New York City. Yes, I'm here right now, and yes, we are filming in New York City. The reason why I moved here is because I'm continuing my education at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I'm so excited to be out here. I'm so excited that we are continuing STL in the city that never sleeps. All right, guys, we have a huge show for you planned today. I'm so excited to introduce you to these guys. But before we do that, I think you know what we gotta do. Josh, roll that intro.
You'll go far, go change the world, 'cause sky is the limit, and you'll go far, I'm sure.
Alright, thanks for sticking around, guys. Welcome back. Okay, so this next guest, I'm pretty thrilled to have them here. I first discovered them about 5 years ago at the Long Beach Grand Prix. They were opening for the Cold War kids. The moment they stepped on the stage to the moment they left the stage, they gave a performance that really blew me away and gave me energy and life, and I wanted to be on the stage with them. So I am so blessed and honored to have them be guests on STL for episode 7. Guys, I'd like to introduce you to Moontower.
Black days we fellow. Show me how to handle the pain. Chase fate while heroes shoot heroin and die before they're 30 in vain. So why do you care if I smoke? There's methane in the air. Not like I gave this world shit. I'm pretty tired, so if chasing a dream won't keep me good company, then bury me right now. If none of us are well, till no one is weak, you should cut me out, get closer to peace. The more I know, the less I believe. Just bury me right now. My faith's a target. Shot 11 people, numbers for names. For how I pray and who I sleep with, I might be on borrowed time. Not afraid to die a martyr, but I'm still afraid to die.
Alright, guys, here they are. They're here. Moontower, baby. Hey, guys, how we doing? You guys have been creating all these different things in quarantine. Has it been harder to connect to the actual material in that sense? Or is it just, again, it's kind of like a different way of thinking about it? It's a different environment. So how has it just been creating during this quarantine?
Tom said something like at the beginning of quarantine about how it's hard to output without input. And I think that was really tough until we just changed the input source. Because, like, yeah, you write music, you make music, like, at least for us, like, a lot of that comes from being able to travel, being able to tour, even just being able to, like, go out with friends, right?
Yeah.
And have
shared experiences.
Yeah, whatever that, it could be a great one, it could be a terrible one. Some input, right? And so I think what a lot of people, I don't know what a lot of people, what we're finding is that, or found at the beginning of quarantine, is that without those traditional input sources that we would like go to as sort of like the well for our creativity, it wasn't like we found it harder to connect with the material. We just chose to engage in other forms of creativity and expression, like doing the virtual tour and the live videos. We also had like just finished like a period of like pretty intense creation like right before quarantine started, because we were planning on, we had a tour that we were supposed to be going on, so we finished making a lot of music, and we were sort of into the more releasing and performing side of things, so we just sort of went with that. We tried not to like swim upstream, basically. We just tried to go with sort of what felt right. And I think even, as recently as like a month or so ago, like I think our input sources individually have all sort of adapted and changed, and we've sort of found a way to feel creatively inspired, even though we can't inspire ourselves in the ways that we used to before. And I think like that's just the mark of being an artist. Like I don't think that like people as artists are defined by like the subject matter of what they talk about. I think it's they're defined by like their ability to find expression in whatever their current circumstance is, and we just didn't want to force that. So we're really excited to be like very deep into the music making process right now. Very inspired to do things like make our first album, and use the time.
Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. So
I'm stoked for you to hear it, but also like right now we're just like really making it for ourselves, and
That's
like
so cool.
Just taking a second to like think about like what is the piece of music that like we, the three of us, like want to make, and figuring out, learning a lot about who we are as a band and sort of like what we want this like first statement sort of to be on the world. But also obviously like we can't help but like think about the live show and think about how everybody's going to react to it. So everybody's still very much a part of this music making process, but we are like taking our time to just like really focus on, what do the three of us care about and who do we want to be as a band and things like that.
That's really cool. I feel like that's sometimes the most difficult thing with specifically musicians. I had one on 2 episodes ago, and he was kind of talking about that balance between because a lot of people will go back and forth from creating towards the audience or pandering towards the audience, and then creating within yourself. So I think that's really great that you bring that up, that you guys are really taking that time just for yourself. At the end of the day, you're going to put that out, and people will have gone through something that can make them relate to that. I think that's kind of the goal, right? Could be wrong there.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. We also think that this album is probably going to be, we love playing season 1 and all the What Days It songs live, but I think this one is just going to be sort of next level. It's just like, I think in the past, it's not like we've relied on production to like sort of support our songs, but with this upcoming album, we don't want there to be any question that whatever we're playing on acoustic or piano, if we had no production behind us, is still just like one of the best songs you've ever heard. So I think as soon as we go into production land for this upcoming album, which is very soon here, we're just like very stoked to know that the words and the chords and the melodies are just bulletproof, at least us.
Yeah.
Which we've never really had a spot, I think, to feel that confident about before. So we're just fucking amped about that.
We are. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's just like a consequence of having more time.
Every year is getting shorter, never seem to find the time.
Yeah,
like we've never, I don't like the circumstances around why we have this time.
Never seem to find the time.
But we do. And
yeah,
I think I hope that like everybody sort of finds a way to say, hey, like what things have I been neglecting, or like what parts of my process could be improved by the fact that I do have time to take a beat. Because like, right now it's not about like necessarily always about what you're outputting to the world, but it's sort of about like how you're growing internally.
Totally.
yeah.
And it's especially with the music making process, but also just kind of with being a person right now, it's really easy to look back on the whole year and say nothing has changed between March and what is it now, September 10?
Yeah.
Somehow you blink and you miss it. But being able to, especially in the creative process, kind of compartmentalize the time into these different chunks feels really healthy. And it makes it feel like whereas there is no change, there is no kind of changing of the seasons right now. There's no going back to school. Things are very different. But if we say, hey, all right, so we're working on songwriting only, then we're working on lyrics only, then we're working on writing our parts only, and then on production only, it feels, I don't know. And that can be applied to all sorts of different parts of life, even if you aren't making an album personally. But
yeah, so true.
It's been a really nice way to feel like things are in control when they aren't.
Totally.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, because that's definitely what it is right now. And you could definitely look at this whole thing in a more negative way or a more positive way, and you get to kind of choose in a sense. And sometimes it is hard to be all like positive, like no, I'm gonna make the most of this. I get that. There's things that we've all gone up and down during this quarantine. I think we can all agree on that. And so it is really, really cool to kind of think about just looking into yourself for a second and being like, hey, this is what I want to do with what I have right now. Because at the end of the day, I've heard this a lot, that like, hey, you know what, during 2020 I'm just gonna like scratch it off the book, and 2021 is just gonna be 2020 again. Like, that's what I've been hearing a lot. And I feel like at the end of the day, we're not getting any younger here. Like, time is still going by, we're still living life, right? So I think that's a big thing to think about. I just kind of want to get more into you three too. How did you guys come to be? How did you guys meet? How was Moontower created?
So Devan and I met at USC probably the first week of our freshman year.
Okay. And then
so
just homies ever since.
Yeah, we started making music together for another artist, for other artists, and working on the production side of things. He was a Logic man, I was an Ableton man. We had to work out that was real, yeah.
But soft. What light from yonder window breaks? It is my lady.
Real barrier in between us. No, but we've always brought kind of different things to the table, but very kind of complementary things as far as the production. Nonetheless, we kind of all started making music together for other people, and before long we were kind of creating some tunes, and we're having some ideas together that we felt like were either too good to give away or too personal to call someone else's.
Yeah.
Specifically, there's another moment. Jacob and I went to go see this band called Lemaitre, Lemaitre. It's like phonetically Lemaitre. And they're so ahead of their time. Just crazy awesome Norwegian duo that does indie electronic. It's a little bit cinematic, but it's also very pumpy, like French house. So we kind of viewed that and we were like, there's some space here to create a band with a pronounceable name making a similar sound. And
Tom always wanted his next project to be called Moontower, after the Dazed and Confused movie.
I had a little sticky note on my desk where I had a little studio set up just saying it's at the Moontower, and I just knew the next thing should be called Moontower.
We were called the Moontower for like a couple weeks, right?
There's a couple weeks where we were the Moontower.
Yeah.
It was actually an argument over what we tell the graphic designer to make the first logo.
Right.
Like, do we tell them it's the Moontower or Moontower? We were a live band only. That was kind of the whole original concept. Early 2017, late 2016, that we decided we were going to start a band. The band was going to be called Moontower, and that band Moontower was going to be the first band to headline Coachella without releasing any music.
Oh, okay.
We are a live band only. We are going to make it from the USC house party scene to Coachella without releasing music. That concept has since been deemed defunct, as you can tell by our recent EP released.
Yes.
The second EP.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean the same.
We should take all of our music down.
Yeah, exactly. Then you'll be a live band.
The idea was it's the same that it kind of was the reason why we did the virtual tour and why we did the What Day Is It video before we released the What Day Is It EP, and why season 1 we were on tour before the EP was ever released. We played live for almost a full year without releasing any music. And our shtick that kind of got us a little bit of notoriety was we would bring to these house parties, we would bring these giant lights and these custom stages that we built with lights underneath them. And there were like these 10-foot totems that we'd put all over the crowd.
They get taller and taller every time.
Yeah, I know. And small guys, they felt like 10 feet. And the idea, if you had a backyard, we would bring everything else. We'll bring the speaker system. We'll be the band. We'll, if you want it, we'll provide the liquor even. It's like, we will give you the best band-centric house party. We will put the Moontower from the End of Dazed and Confused wherever you can give us a space. You just need to invite your friends. And that worked for a bit. We went from playing backyards at USC to opening for Bad Sons without releasing any music.
Wow. I like to ask this to every single one of my guests just because of the time we're living in. You kind of went into this a little bit, but what is one piece of advice you have for younger artists, creators, everyone around the world right now during this surreal time that you can kind of give?
I've been listening to a lot of people sort of like in the mindfulness world talk about the importance of just because you have more time, not spending more time on things. And I think, first of all, I'm trying to, we're not telling anybody what to do. We're like just sharing the things that we're doing. Yeah. And if it resonates with you, great. If not, let us know what works for you because we need help too. But yeah, I think it's like, for instance, like a way we are giving ourselves more time is like we're making this album and we know that we have like a while to do it because we want it to come out when we can play shows again. So we have a while to do that, and so like we're going to allow ourselves to do different things and to have different experiences that we wouldn't be able to have if we were, on a touring cycle and things like that. But when something's done, and something's done, like Tom said, like when you have that gut feeling like something's done, put it aside and stop touching it. And I think, because I was listening to this, like the guy who developed Drunk History, the creator of Drunk History, he just actually had his show canceled. It was like super sad. But he has all these shows he's developed, and he said the hardest thing for him to do is just like to know, okay, a show's done. I can't film this right now because nobody can film anything. I'm going to put this on the shelf and I'm going to move on to the next show like I would if I could film stuff. There's just like this idea that as an artist, and especially in music, like it happens all the time, to where like something is perfect and then you're like, oh, what if I added that? And you add this one thing and it ruins everything. And like you can never go back to that moment that it was perfect. And just being really careful and cognizant about like when your gut is telling you that something is finished is just it's the hardest thing to develop, but it's like probably the most valuable thing to master.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that. Thank you for all of this. Basically what I like to do at the very end, I like to basically just have you guys say whatever is coming up, where we can find more of you. I know Hit the Lights just came out. Go check that out. Go check out their new song with Gold Room. But where else can we find Moontower? What's the Instagram?
That's right here. Look at it.
All right, there we go.
We can find you right here.
Right here. Our Instagram is @thisismoontower. Over the course of this fall, we're going to be putting more stuff out on YouTube just because we realized we need more stuff on there. So if you're looking for more content of the sort, I would check there.
We got a lot of stuff to put out.
But yeah, we're looking forward to sort of taking a bit of a break this fall from forward-facing stuff so we can make our tunes in a vacuum.
Hey, there we go. Well, honestly, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your wise words. Just thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Make sure you tell people to register to vote. Everybody register to vote.
There we go.
Not old enough. Register your parents. Register your friends' parents. Like, obviously, they have to register themselves, but we need to vote. We need to vote in big numbers this year. So
Yes,
Yeah, be
sir.
part of your
Yes,
tomorrow.
sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, do you want to be a part of this Sky's Limit? I know you do. I know you do. I know you do. So fill out the Google submissions and show us something creative because I want to interview you. Come on, you know I do. And also subscribe. I need it, baby. I need you, baby. Let's create a community. Let's have some fun. I want some baby back ribs. Sorry, that was just like me being me. Bye.